How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to yet another weekly warehouse update. We got a crazy one today. We've got all kinds of fun stuff that we're gonna walk you through in the warehouse. So we're gonna kick it off with probably what most of you are most excited about, most of you are here for, which is an MVP restock on a lot of really popular molds. We'll start off first with probably the least popular of them all, but the Echo from Streamline. Here we got some black on black ones. I think we got some blank ones back here. Dyer's Delight is what I always like to call these. And then we got some more blank, different colored ones too. The Echo is basically, in my opinion, a streamlined version of the Hex. So it's a little bit flippier than the Hex from my experience, but great flyer. We also have some Eclipse proxies. It looks like these are all Eclipse proxies. Look at this blank one. Look at the rim there. That's crazy. They're doing some awesome stuff over at Gateway. So some Eclipse proxies. Then this next box, a lot of you have been waiting for this. The Trail is back in stock. I finally got to throw it yesterday. A little bit flippier than I expected. I was able to rip it on hyzer and really get it to pop up and get a good full flight out of it. I think a lot of people are gonna love this. If you're looking for if you throw like 300 to 350 and you're looking for a good straight 10 speed, this is gonna be for you. If you throw a little bit farther and you're looking for a great hyzer flip fairway where you can really, in the woods, you'd be able to carve some fairways with this thing, and that's for you. And we got all kinds of colors and stuff. It even looks like we have some blank trails as well, which is always fun. I love a good blank disc. Next down the line, we have a restock on hexes. So we have the Eclipse Hex, we have the Fission Hex, and we have the Neutron Hex. So a full Hex reload here. You can kind of get, this would be flippiest to most overstable Hex, but the Hex is just unreal. It flies so far. It's pretty much what you want out of a neutral mid-range. There's a reason it's so popular. It has a great hand feel, forehand and backhand, and it just goes dead straight. I honestly need to put one back in my bag. It flies a lot like my MD3s, just goes farther. So that's why I end up coming out of the bag, is just a little bit too much overlap, but it feels so comfortable. And now that we have such a good restock, that might be going back in the bag. Next down the line, we have the Fission and Neutron time lapse. This is a great one too, because the Fission time lapse offers you a really good amount of flip. And if you're a newer player, and by newer I mean you're already throwing like 350, 325, then you can get really good distance out of this one, whereas the Neutron one flies a little bit more like a destroyer, or a little bit more like an overstable distance driver. So it's a great 1-2 hit, because you can get the reliability you need out of the Neutron one and then the distance you need out of the Fission one with the same hand feel. So it's a great 1-2 there, and of course it's a Simon line. Everyone loves Simon. And then next we have the Uplink. This is actually a Neutron soft Uplink, not too soft, really good controllable understable mid-range here. This one probably is going back in the bag, the Uplink. I threw it yesterday and I just don't have anything like it. The fuse is close, but it's a hair less stable than the fuse. It's just a gorgeous hyzer flip to turn. You can power down on it and get some great dead straight flip up shots, some smooth turnovers, all that stuff. So if you're looking for a mid to really shape shots with, or if you're looking to learn your first hyzer flip, check out the Uplink. Absolutely awesome disc. And then last but not least, we have a restock on everyone's favorite, the Glitch. Every time I throw the Glitch, I just fall back in love with it. We actually have the Glitch and we have the Spore in stock from last week still, which I always call like the Glitch OS, because the Glitch out of the box will kind of have a little bit of pop up. It has a glide dead straight. The Spore fights that a little bit more and hyzers at the end. It also has a little bit more of a putter hand feel, but the Glitch is a very true just lid catch disc style disc. It's in this like Neutron soft plastic, and so it actually is very comfortable to play catch with. So you can like warm up before a round with a disc that you could actually use in the round. It's great if you're just trying to like play short putter courses, or you're looking for something with a lot of glide to throw on approaches that's just going to go and drop straight down. That's the Glitch. Ton of fun. But check out all the MVP, because this is just our restock. We still have plenty of other discs in stock as well, so we have close to a full MVP selection right now, which is something I haven't been able to say in months.
Okay, got a few really exciting molds. First thing I want to start with is DGA. Now, this is a prototype driver. It hasn't even gotten a name yet, but this is Katrina Allen's next prototype. I got a chance to throw this thing yesterday, and I'm a big fan of DGA drivers already. I really like the Hurricane, the Hypercane. Love DGA drivers. This is a good time, okay? I'm not sure what I would compare it to directly. It has really good flip to it. If you think in the Disccraft lineup, not as flippy as a Thrasher, a little bit more flippy than a Zeus. I would say feels-wise, it reminds me of the new Captain's Thrasher a little bit, but with a little bit more flip, like maybe once it's seasoned in. I was throwing it hard on hyzer and it was popping up and turning, but not all the way over. And at the end of its flight, it does still have low speed stability, which tells me for the lower arm speeds, you're still gonna be able to get good fade out of this. I think it's gonna be a great, I think I could love this with forehands especially, and feels great in the hand and it bombs. I think this is a really awesome mold they made. I think a lot of players are gonna be able to get a ton of distance out of this. And these protos, this plastic, we have a few different ones that are pretty sweet. You see this one has some really cool like swirls in the rim. We got some other, I mean, yeah, wow. Almost like color shift plastic. All of these came out really well with like some glimmer and stuff. So it's a great disc, really excited about this one. Next thing I'm gonna show you is some Discmania that is live as we speak. First we got the Neo Lumen, that's like their glow plastic. This is a Origin with a cool kind of pixely, it's funny they call it Neo because I feel like it's kind of a Matrix stamp. That's a correct reference, right? Yes. I've never seen the Matrix, I just kind of pulled that one out. But the Origin, great flippy mid. A ton of players love this to get hyzer flips. Our guy Jason throws these a ton and has a lot of success with them. Great disc overall. And then we've got a new mold here, the P1X. So the P1X has existed before, I think, in the originals. Is that right, Hunter? Did the P1X exist? Yeah. Yeah, so the P2X is the one they were maybe teasing that didn't exist. But this one does this. I hadn't thrown it previously. The best way for me to describe this is, it is just a little deeper than the P3X, but just kind of flies like that disc would be seasoned in a little bit. So you're gonna get a similar hand feel, it still has that small bead, but it's just brand new. It might pop up a little bit, and it's just really straight. It's a very straight putter, very agreeable. If the P3X is a little too overstable for you, you'd love this disc. It's just a great throwing putter overall. And then last but not least, we have these Neosoft Evolution Spores. These are glitches, basically. You got a lid style disc, and the great thing about this is they're awesome on the course. They're also like the best catch discs ever, and especially in this soft plastic, they don't hurt your hands. I love using these as catch discs. These are incredible. In this plastic, this soft plastic, this is probably my favorite one to use as a catch disc. And like I said, on the course, it translates as well. They have a ton of glide, very straight, very floaty. They barely go off course if you throw them flat. Just great all around disc. So there's some fun molds. Make sure you check out this Proto from DGA. Don't forget about that. This thing is a lot of fun.
All right, I got a fine little sampling of some Innova that's hitting the site. These are actually all going to the retail store, but they're all the same disc gonna hit the site, but it's just easier to have them all right here. Anyways. First off, we have the Proto Glow Gorgon, Proto Color Glow Gorgon. Basically what the Proto Glow is it's just Innova's new glow, which glows closer to MVP level. It's a lot more intense than Innova's original glow. And so a Color Glow Gorgon, this should add a little bit more stability to it. That's what Color Glow typically does. So that could turn this Gorgon into a really sick disc. I actually kind of want to try one of these. It's got like a little pumpkin Medusa thing going on there. That's a lot of fun on that stamp. Then of course, it's Halloween, so you always have the pumpkin AVR. This is the classic Color Glow Nexus AVR. That's a mouthful, but it's just a baseline, really comfortable hand feel AVR. Now, one thing that's really interesting is you have this classic AVR, right? And then you have, they brought back the 40th anniversary edition, they brought back the V-Chains AVR. But what's really unique about this is on the bottom, it has the Rancho Cucamonga branding on it, whereas your normal AVR doesn't. You're gonna be able to see this on camera, but your normal AVR just says Innova Disc made in the USA. This has the Rancho Cucamonga address, and you can actually feel the difference. There's definitely more of a curve in it right here. Subtle, but it's definitely different. You can really feel it in the hand a lot more than you can see it with the eye, but it's just this wing right here is different. So it's 100%, I'm very confident in saying it's a different mold. So they used probably an old Innova mold for this disc to bring it back, which is awesome. And then obviously the V-Chain stamp. If you've been around disc golf long enough, you know how coveted that stamp is. And so to bring it back for the 40th anniversary edition, that's sick. I'm definitely gonna grab one of these just as a collector. Don't know if I'm gonna throw it or not, but it's definitely one I wanna own. And then they also went with the vintage Innova bar stamp. I have this on a Banshee from like, I don't even know, 1990 something, I don't even know. But it's a 40th anniversary XD with that sick bar stamp. They need to use that more. That stamp is the coolest stamp they have, in my opinion. It's so cool. But the XD is just a really flat, shallow putter, pretty much dead straight, little flippy. My brother used to throw one all the time. He loved them for like forehand turnover approaches and stuff like that. We got these in a bunch of different colors. And then the final Halloween disc is a Proto Glow DX Rock, which actually for the embossing, I don't know if you can even see that, but like they did like this weird glow embossing So it's like got the sun and I don't even know how to describe it, but weird. But you have the like skeleton bird flying through the sky. That's the rock bird. It's absolutely sick. Feels great. So that's kind of the new Innova Halloween and 40th anniversary.
We got a new manufacturer in stock, which is Stokely discs. So Stokely discs is created by Scott Stokely, the disc golf pro. Most of you probably at least heard that name at some point, but he used to be a touring professional. Well, I guess he still does tour a little bit. He used to be kind of one of the mainstays. Nowadays, he does a lot of clinics, a lot of social media, that sort of thing. But he's got his own disc line, so we're going to check him out. Got a chance to throw a good bit of them yesterday. First off, we got a putter here, the Wren. We actually, when we threw this yesterday, we were pretty surprised. You can see they got a pretty cool logo. I'll give them that. We were surprised that this is very overstable. It kind of just has a beadless appearance, very just kind of standard, agreeable putter form, but very overstable, a lot of bite to it. They've got their kind of a baseline plastic here, their Strato, and then this is their thermoplastic. This is their premium. Baseline, I feel like, I don't know what I would compare it to. It's got kind of a rubbery feel to it. It's pretty firm, but has a good tack. And then the premium honestly reminds me of like Finish Line's premium plastic. That's probably the closest comparison I could give it. This putter in general actually does remind me a little bit of the Pace from Finish Line. Moving on, we've got some mid-ranges. This is the Cardinal. This is a 540. I like that they're doing these bottom stamps. Those are clean. 2.5, so they're slightly more overstable mid-range. Feels pretty similar. I would say kind of reminds me of like a Trilogy mold. The mid-range here, just the way they have the edge shaped up. They have an overstable approach disc, being the Owl. I guess they're calling this a mid-range, but honestly in the hand it reminds me of like I guess it reminds me kind of the MX2, which is technically a mid, but it's a little bit chunkier in the hand, a little smaller diameter disc, and meant to be very overstable. I threw these. I found that if you give them flat or hyzer, they do want to go left, but they will pan if you give them a lot of anhyzer. Then we've got a really interesting disc, okay? So this here is the Juju. So back in the day, there was this company called Ching Discs, and they made this disc, and then I guess they just kind of like stopped making discs a while back. But well, Scott Stokely acquired this mold and decided to bring this mold back. And you'll notice these dimples along the end here. It's kind of the reason this disc has a little bit of a cult following. And what this is actually meant for is they're meant to be thumb tracks, and it's kind of adjustable, right? Because it gets further away from the rim. So you can kind of like almost tune your shot in that way. And there's a blank spot too, in case you don't want to do that. I do find that interesting, that it almost gives you like a very specific guide. A lot of people just kind of place their thumb based on feel, but this does give you something very tangible to kind of look at. And it also, it's a different kind of groove. You know, you see thumb tracks a lot of times on discs, but this is like, it's a little divot. And it's not uncomfortable at all to fit your thumb into, at least mine. Hunter threw this disc yesterday, and it's just a straight flying approach disc. So I think more than anything, it's just something cool to kind of play around with. And I do always love when companies try something different with disc golf discs. You know, they don't just do the standard, they like try and make something new. So yeah, that's the Juju. Pretty interesting disc. We have that in a premium and then a baseline as well. If you want to wow all your friends, you can pick one of these up, because it is always a talking point when you pull it out of the bag. And ultimately, these divots don't really affect the flight of the disc. You can see they actually pop out on the bottom there too. It's just a straight putter, but it is a good time. So much so that I'm almost talking myself into it right now. But yeah, check out all the Stokely discs. If you like Scott Stokely, or you want to try out a new manufacturer on the market on our site, we've got them.
All right, it's October, which means it's kind of like spooky, you know, subscription box season, or just kind of like out of this world themed subscription box season. I've been told not to really reveal too much. I've been told it's confidential. You didn't see that, okay? But let me just say that what's in these boxes here, shh, you can't see anything. What's in these boxes here, I'll just give you a few stats about them. This is the second release of this disc ever. This is the first ever retail release. And to my knowledge, I believe it's the only other time this disc is being released this year.
Hypothetically, yes.
To my knowledge. So I'm not gonna say anything else about it. I've already said too much. If I told you the rest, they might kill me. But it's a good box. It's a very good box. Limited amount, obviously. Subscription box is how these work. But $45 gives you 3 premium discs plus a swag item. The swag item's also very sick this month. Very confidential though, so I don't want to reveal too much, but as the month goes on, we'll let a little more leak out here and there, I'm sure. You know, we can't have everyone keep their mouths sealed all month long, but if you want to get in the know, go ahead and pick one up now, secure your spot, because I think once we start telling people a little bit more about what this box is, it's gonna go quick. So if you want to get in the know, get in the inner circle, now's your chance to sign up. And November's box is incredible. December's box, gonna be incredible. January's box is, we'll call it Hall of Fame worthy. So you're not going to miss out on these next several months worth of boxes, $45, 3 premium discs plus a swag item. That wraps it up for this week's warehouse update. A lot of fun stuff. Head over to foundationdisc.com, shop all of this and so much more. We'll see you back here next week.